What's going on, guys? Welcome to Season 4, Episode 4 of Wrecked Bike Rebuild, the YouTube motorcycle build show where we take wrecked bikes, we turn them into dream bikes,
and then we give them away.
My man, you actually did it. I was ready. I was prepped in case you messed up. So guys, welcome to Wrecked Bike Rebuild. On the last episode, it was our episode 3, the first day we were messing with the bike. Tore the plastics off, tore the subframe off to check the outside of the motorcycle to make sure no real bad external big components were messed up. We ended that episode with needing to check the clutch cover, remove the radiator, and we're going to remove the exhaust today.
Well, we are going to be replacing the exhaust system.
We are, absolutely.
So to remove the exhaust system to replace it, we need to remove the radiator.
Right.
That will also allow us more visibility of engine cases and free up all the space underneath the clutch cover on this side so we can remove the outer clutch cover.
Right.
And if there's anything wrong internally, then we can remove the inner clutch cover so we could see the rest of it, but we need to take the exhaust off to do that.
Right. So if you guys are wondering why we are being so meticulous about checking over this motorcycle, Season 3 we did a bobber, and at the very end of the season when time was running out, we realized we had a blown up clutch. We had to pull the entire engine apart, put it all back together. So we are not messing around when it comes to checking our motorcycles.
No more surprises.
No more surprises. Also, I'm Chase, that's Brian. You're being floated around by Luke. And this is our 2016 Ducati Panigale. 959.
959.
Paningli.
Paningli 959.
Paningli 959. And without saying anything more, I think we can get going. So, if you guys aren't familiar, Brian is our master tech. I am the Padawan. And we are trying really hard for you to be hands-off this season. So, with that being said,
I'll try my best.
I know you have.
I'm going to let you decide where to start.
Well,
we just went over what it was that we need to do.
Oh yeah, you said we need to remove the exhaust so we can easily get to the radiator.
Other way around.
Almost. It's opposite day.
You weren't even listening.
No, I got the bullet points.
Okay.
I just didn't get what.
So we need to remove the cooling system or the radiators.
Which this bike has 2 of.
Yes.
Right.
It has an upper and a lower.
Okay.
All attached by hoses. So we need to remove the radiators to gain access to the front head pipe so we can remove the exhaust system.
I'm having flashbacks to the bobber where like we could see both the head pipes come out of the exhaust or out of the engine, and now I'm looking at this and it just goes
disappears into
a dark place, right?
So we are going to have to remove some stuff. So if you remove the radiator, what do you have to do before you remove it?
Remove the coolant out of the radiator so it don't spill everywhere.
Okay.
Is there a coolant plug?
Where's that drain pan at? Where did I have it set up at? So maybe you should look over there.
Are you that far ahead already?
Dude, I already have this bike apart.
My man. Let me guess, a 4.
I'm not gonna let you guess, I'm gonna let you figure it out. Plumbed.
Oh, we had something.
All right, just let it sit.
Pink?
Yeah.
So will it drain out of both of them with that, or do we have to do some
This
special
one
stuff?
will run down into this one, will run down to the drain, but there'll always be little pockets you won't get it all out.
Right, okay.
But you can get it out enough that you can move it around and hopefully it doesn't spill everywhere. So your choices are to, all right, I'm not gonna say anything, I'm gonna let you figure it out. I'm having a hard time not directing you point by point.
You can direct.
I don't want to direct you point by point. I want you to figure it out. That's the hard part, is figuring. I could teach a monkey how to take a motorcycle apart. You know,
that's
remove
what you're
this, remove that.
doing.
But that's not what I want to do. I want you to learn.
All right, so So what you're telling me is there's something I can be doing right now while the coolant is draining.
That's why we moved it.
Whoa!
That's it, you're good. It's not going anywhere, but that's why we moved it. Otherwise, that stream would just make its way to the floor.
Wait, so what's causing it to come out faster now?
The seal of the gas cap opened up just a little bit more. So there's more atmospheric pressure on the system, allowing it to drain better.
Okay, coolant smells like shit, by the way. So...
Tastes pretty good.
Okay, so the radiator assembly.
Which is what?
All right, both radiators together.
Okay.
And then the fan, which
Is this
is
the fan?
inside of there.
Okay.
So the wires for the fan come up through that other plastic cover. You see the wires come out of the top of it?
Right here?
Nope, that's a hose up further.
Oh, right here.
Right there, okay?
Right.
So we need to cut those zip ties.
Got it.
This is not the easiest of motorcycles to figure out how to take apart, so I think I'm just gonna have to guide you a bit.
Yeah. Okay, zip tied down. Am I doing all the zip ties all the way up?
You know, follow those wires because we need to unplug them.
Okay, so they meet in with this boy right here. So this is one of them.
So that little plug is attached to that plastic thing, right?
Right. Do I need to like push it up off?
Get a flashlight in there and see how it's attached. Now, does it slide on or does it push through?
It looks like it slides on, and if I slide it down, it'll come off.
So you leave that green clip on there, and now unplug it.
Gotcha. Okay. All right. So that's one fan wire. Same situation where
Maybe.
there's a green. Yeah. Do you just push that green through?
Kind of push the sides in, and
Yeah.
there you go.
Yeah. Okay. All right. That is all the fan cables.
The coolant seems to be, for the most part, drained. All right, so this is kind of something that I do that I don't think a lot of other people do.
You go and blow air through the thing?
Just a little bit of pressure to try and get most of the coolant out without moving it around and having it spill all over the place, which is what typically happens. I just cut my hand over the top of the radiator and just a little bit of air.
A little bit's coming out. Holy shit.
Okay, that's it.
Dude, that's like a pro tip situation.
Pretty much.
So that's gonna avoid...
I don't know anybody else that does that, honestly.
Right. And that's just gonna avoid more coolant coming out once we...
Just getting out the
Right.
as much as we possibly can before removing the radiator. So put the drain plug back in it.
So you wouldn't damage the radiator or anything by...
No, because it's not sealed. I'm just passing air
Right.
through it. And
Okay.
as the air is passing through, it's pushing everything else out with
Right.
it.
Okay.
So,
So we got the
so drain
plug
plug's back
on.
in. We can move the
Correct.
drain pan out of the way. So now you need to stick your head in there and see what kind of hardware you need to remove to get that cup out of there. Just this box.
Just this guy?
Yes.
All right, well that ain't over here. Oh, okie dokie.
So that's why I was trying to lift the back of the bike up so there'd be a little bit more room underneath.
Like there's a bolt like right there.
So now, hoses.
So now, okay, cool. Do I need to bring, like, will they have the coolant in them or do I not really need
They
to
should have drained down for the most part,
Okay.
but if you want to bring the drain pan back, that's up to you. So your choice, you could start with the hose clamps, or you could start with the hardware that's holding the radiator on.
I'll just start with the hose clamps and then we'll go from there. I don't know if that did anything.
So there's a couple ways to break that seal. The one that you're doing now is works well if you have the room for it. If you don't,
Just press it.
now the seal is broken.
Ew. So the other hose will be on the other side.
Look at what hose you're removing. Where does that hose go?
Well, I'm gonna loosen both of them and then take the hose out.
Why?
Should I just keep it and bring them out together? Is that am
So
I able to do that?
have you looked at this to see how much of this is going to come out in one piece?
Well, obviously with that being in the top, it's gonna have to come out this way, right?
So this is an assembly.
Right.
We're not taking out one part. We're taking off the radiator assembly.
Okay, so I can keep that
So
hose on.
what's the assembly? Look at it and tell me what the assembly is.
I mean, this piece, this, and
Everything that it's mounted to.
this hose.
Where does that hose go?
Down here.
Which is attached to that assembly. So I don't got to remove that one. What's
Okay.
next?
This one, but this one runs up into that. Oh, okay, this side hose.
That's the one.
Jesus Christ.
So this one is a little bit trickier because you can't move the clamp back far enough to get it off of the barb.
Right.
So you need to use 2 pairs of pliers at the same time, squeeze the clamp with one hand to release it, and use another pair to pull the hose off at the same time. So you can't pry on them real hard. You have to be gentle
Okay.
because if you snap that off, it's a whole new radiator.
You love the casual, just like, yeah, by the way.
Well, I mean, if it's not a radiator, then we're going to have to take it somewhere and have that part aluminum welded back on.
No,
So
it's the casualness you have of like, hey, so
don't break it.
Don't break it.
Use the curved ones to squeeze the pin.
Yeah, I'm realizing.
They'll be a little bit more out of your way, and you'll get a better bite on it. There you go.
All right, we're coming in from this angle and this angle. Hitting it at all sides.
It's moving.
Okay. I'm all on like brake duty, like don't want to break nothing now.
Okay, so you pretty much got that clamp over the edge of the barb if you could see it.
Yeah.
So now you just have to work the hose.
There it is.
That was kind of fidgety, huh?
Jesus Christ, man.
You might as well leave the cap off. For now, it doesn't really matter.
I don't want to lose it.
All right, we'll put it back on then.
No. It's off now. Okay. So.
All right, so look at all the hoses, see where they go. Is that the only one that needs to be removed? Follow the hoses and see where they go. As long as they're not,
When I already followed those two.
and they all go down and just
Right.
plug into and get strapped to the assembly, correct?
Correct.
So then it can stay.
Okay.
Okay, so now you need to hunt for the hardware that holds it on. All right, there's these two here that you could see.
Okay.
Those are the only 2 pieces of hardware you could see.
Right.
All right, there's one here, one here. They literally bolt into the hardware that holds the valve cover on. So the radiator is mounted to the engine, just like everything else.
Right.
So this bolt is easier to see if you want to come around this side. Ducati does these little sprung flaps here.
Okay.
Have you ever seen that?
No.
All right,
You
so
can
it's
come over here if you want.
kind of a bridge in
Right.
between the lower triple cover and the radiator to make sure that it funnels air where it wants to be.
Okay.
Instead of if it was open like this, it would lose a lot of air coming through here.
Right.
And it wouldn't cool as well. So that little flap, little spring-loaded flap right here, helps funnel all the air as it's coming through the front end
Right.
across the radiators to help cool it.
Okay. Is that
So,
in our way to?
It is a little bit because there's the piece of hardware.
Dude, we'd have been here all day.
Yes.
We'd
so
have been here
I was
all
going to
day.
nip that in the bud because you could have went over this thing forever
Right.
and the radiator is bent.
The radiator's bent.
Yep. We could fix it though. It's just a bent mounting tab.
Oh, so
It's been pushed in just a little bit.
I see.
Okay, so you actually need to work a Allen right into here, into that.
Okay.
And there's one on each side.
Right, and
And then there's one more all the way in the bottom that I'll show you way down here.
gotcha. So I'm going to start off with these two in the front.
I'd take the 2 off the top first and
Oh.
save those last 2 that are easy to get to for last so you could drop everything down while you're taking the hardware out.
Right.
Instead of trying to hold this thing while you're trying to mess with hardware that's hard to get to.
Gotcha.
Leave the easy stuff for last.
Alrighty, so now that hose is what is holding us all together. Holy shit, okay.
So there's a little tiny hook on the bottom of this that everything kind of like, it's like up here that everything kind of hooks into,
Right,
which is why it didn't just drop.
I
So you
see,
kind of just have to like yank it off. So here's the servo cable.
right,
So now this is loose.
okay.
We could finish taking this plug out of here.
So now we got that top hose.
Now that hose is exposed, that clamp is exposed
Oh,
because
wow.
it dropped a little bit.
Right, we should
So it's the
have.
Phillips head or flat head, whichever.
Okay, yeah,
We need to get some more pliers in here.
right.
Now when that comes off, it's going to drop. So be ready. Now you may want to stop using the pliers and just grab the radiator and pull it off the hose. There you go. It's going. Just put constant pressure on it. There it goes.
Okay.
That was one more hose in there, huh? No? Good?
Oh, there is one more hose going from the bottom.
Now it should just be like a drainage hose that's routed.
Yeah,
There
okay,
you
I
go.
got it out. Oh, it's attached to that thing.
It's a button. Just pull the...
No, I got it.
Oh, okay.
I just, the button was just like part of it.
Careful not to rub the radiator on anything hard.
Yeah.
Right down. There you go.
All right.
All right, radiator assembly.
Radiator assembly.
2 radiators, radiator fan, coolant reservoir, all the shrouding, all off in one big piece. You can put
All
the, yeah.
full caps on assembly. Okay, radiator assembly done. We took the radiator off so that we would have access to the exhaust header bolts. Okay, is that the exhaust, that like elongated thing? Why is it not a circle?
Because it's not.
Oh, okay, cool. Can I have a medium to a baby? Or that?
So in Chaseland, what you're doing is the first thing you do. You're currently doing the first thing that Chase would do in Chaseland,
Right.
but this is reality. So is that where you should start?
I don't know, Brian. Let me assess the situation. No, you're right. I should remove the spacer hand from the header. So that thing comes in here, around, and goes into that thing. Ooh, okay. So, I don't have to worry about this these wires, because they'll come off. Can I take this whole thing off as one assembly?
The exhaust system?
Yes.
Look at it, can you?
I don't think I can take this fat boy through that hole.
Correct.
Okay.
So where does it connect?
It connects with these big ass looking spring things.
That's
And-
where you start.
They're like super big ass. They're like, how the hell do we do that?
You got a spring puller, right?
No.
Those little hook. You didn't have any of those? Did I leave some here?
I don't believe we have spring pullers. I feel like,
Good luck.
y'all see Brian's face? That's the face you never want to see. Spring puller.
Everybody else that sees this is going to laugh at you.
Go for it.
Make sure that your elbow isn't going to smash anything. So when the hook breaks off, you don't smash your elbow or anything else on anything else.
Kids, when you're working on motorcycles, stay safe and use gloves.
Pay attention to where your body is aimed when you're taking stuff apart. So you don't smash fingers or elbows or,
Exactly.
you know, or if the tool lets go, you don't hook yourself with the tool or hook any part of the motorcycle with the tool.
Can y'all hear my heart rate? Just
Look ahead as to what you're doing.
Okay. That was anticlimactic as hell. Holy shit. Is the other one on that loose? Oh, those aren't on tight at all. Dude, I remember the ZX-10. Wait, were you like prepping up because you... Dude, what? That's not cool.
Their exhaust system is so well engineered that it really doesn't need the springs. So they're on there just to keep it from separating the slightest little bit.
Okay, well, that was a lot of energy for nothing. So now I can remove these and take this entire top assembly part.
Now, do you want to take that top assembly off first, or do you want to leave the top assembly on and remove everything out from underneath it?
I mean, I feel like it's either way, right? It doesn't really matter. I just got to figure out.
Look at how everything is assembled. This head pipe goes over studs. So once you take these nuts off, you'd have to pull it back this way to clear the studs, which you're not going to be able to do because this is still on this pipe, which is still bolted to everything else, and that's not going to move. So this is going to be the last part you take off.
So that you can have that pull it back.
So at this point, you're going to take, now you can take off these three up front for the head pipe.
Right.
And then it's the stuff that mounts the muffler to the motorcycle, and then all of that will come out. The front head pipe, the muffler to this joint will all slide out together, and this will be the last piece left.
Okay. Back to step one. Or, not one. Fudge, dude.
So what's in the way?
That boy. Oh, wait. Oh, no. This is like, dude, am I legit gonna have to take this off just so I can do that? Please don't tell me I'm gonna have to do that. Cause like, I could take this guy off, but this is what's the problem. You for real with having to take this shit
You
off?
tell me.
Hold on, before I go down that stupid path. Hold on, I'm going to the other side before I try that, cause that's asinine. Yeah, screw doing that. I would rather do this.
Just leave it.
I don't even know where it went.
It went into the heat shield.
The heat shield can have it. So now I'm gonna remove this guy because it's connected to shit, right? Or
What's this guy?
The sensor.
Correct. Slide sideways, either front to back, one way or the other.
Now the question is, how do you get it to go through there without taking this guy off?
There you go.
Okay.
Somebody was so kind as to take that wire and fish it in between
I was
a
worried.
Y
Yeah, I was worried it was
in
going
the
in
wiring
between the
harness.
wires.
So
Okay, so these are off. Now this connects right there, and I'm gonna do the back ones first because they're more of a pain in the ass, and those will be easier to do, same as the radiator situation. So that's the exhaust totally done then.
Exhaust is off.
Woo! All right, now slow-mo shots. Okay.
Exhaust is off.
Exhaust is off, radiator is off. At this point in the bike, you can really understand the
fact that there's no frame.
The no frame and the motor is the frame. Like, also, why is that? Like, why is it a little shark fin?
Oh, it's just the shape they can make
Just
it.
Design element. Okay. All right, now the big worry in the sky is the clutch. Yep. So our first step is just to take the whole cover off.
You got it.
Okay. What size is that?
Should be an 8.
Sweet.
You already have it right there. In your hand, you have everything you need in your hand to take that off.
Ah. I was gonna do an adapter on an adapter for no reason. Don't tip me, Brian. I'll do it.
I'm sure.
It's not gonna take much convincing.
Hold on. Put that back on there. Put it on the bolt. Don't pull the trigger and loosen. How would you do it if that was the regular ratchet? And now pull the trigger.
I could have.
You
Holy.
have to switch back and forth. No.
Why are you just now telling me this?
I didn't realize that you were doing that before.
This is a game changer, Brian. Oh my God. I did not know the resistance was there.
All we care about is this right here.
What are you looking for right now?
Make sure there's no damage on this face where they meet together so it won't seal.
Oh, okay. And you're looking in the area that one was already cracked in.
I want to check the whole thing, but specifically down here at the bottom where the damage was. Okay.
So there would be like a crack or something, or
Scratch, a nick, a dent.
anything that oil
Anything
could
that's not
get
flat so that it's not going to seal properly. And if you feel that, it's pretty rough. Like up here, it's pretty smooth. Down here, it's kind of rough.
Yeah.
So what we'll do before assemblies, we'll just resurface this whole thing with a piece of Scotch-Brite.
Right.
Clean it all off and make sure everything is good. But it looks pretty good. Visually inspect around the clutch basket and make sure there's no damage anywhere. And it all looks pretty good. So our clutch is intact. These are the friction plates right here, these little tangs that stick up. And early warning signs of the clutch being overheated is these will start to be discolored. So these are all nice and still goldy, so these are all in really good shape.
What color do they turn once they start?
The darker it gets, the hotter it gets, the darker they get.
I see. So it's like a burn. Okay.
Yes. So if they were black, like our other clutches, when we took it apart, those first couple discs, these little
Right.
nipples out here were completely black.
Good.
Said nipple.
Nipples. Woo! Woo! Okay, that's enough of that. So the clutch looks good, the basket looks good, the pressure plate looks good, the surface, the mounting surface, where the sealing surfaces look good. Obviously we need a new cover, and I think we're going with something kind of special for that.
Yeah. People that look into Ducati or Panigales, a lot of them should know what's going to end up being there. But you know, we'll hold off until it actually comes in. Can we all just, as a group, take a big? We don't have a clutch problem.
That's a big step.
Yeah, that was a big deal. That
Yeah.
was very worrisome.
So now that we're where we're at, everything has been pulled apart.
Yeah.
We can now drain the rest of the oil out of the engine.
Is that the bottom of the little shark fin at the bottom?
Right here. That's your drain plug right there. Like I said, I knew that those 4 bolts that had to come out were going to be a total pain in the dick.
Right.
So imagine how much fun it is to get to that when the muffler's on and the radiator shroud is on and everything else is in there. And man, that's awfully dark for a brand new oil change.
Wasn't much left. I guess the majority of it
came out through there. Yeah, absolutely.
Especially if the bike was tipped over or something. Okay, while the oil drains, we're gonna end this episode. Bum, bum, bum. Okay, oil's drained, clutch is checked, exhaust is removed, radiator is removed, clutch is not damaged. So are we going to be replacing the clutch anyway because it's open and we can?
There's
no need to?
No.
There's no performance gain to...
Nope.
Okay, cool. So...
I mean, this is already a slipper clutch in it, so...
Right, so there would be no way to...
No sense in upgrading. I mean, it is as good as it's going to get, pretty much.
Okay, so now with all that removed, no more... There can be no surprise... I guess there can. Right.
What we have found during our disassembly is we did find a spot where the oil was weeping.
Oh yeah, we didn't show that on camera.
We did not show it on camera.
We can show that on the other side real quick before we wrap this episode up.
So what we did find as we're pulling stuff off is here we have a collection of oil and road grime. So what it is, it's getting past this rubber bushing that feeds the wires out of this engine cover. And that is a fairly common occurrence. As you can see, it's probably weeping here too, although this could just be residual from up here leaking down. But this kind of looks a little too wet for that. So there's an O-ring in here that will replace this O-ring, which we're gonna have to take this out to get this cover off to reseal that. So we'll replace this O-ring, we'll take this cover off, we'll scrape all the gasket surfaces, we'll put a fresh bead of sealant around this bushing where the wires come through, and then we'll put the cover back on, put a fresh O-ring in here, and torque everything back down to where it needs to be.
Was that the only real surprise that we came across on your end?
I'm honestly, I'm not surprised. But we didn't find that earlier.
Yeah.
So it's definitely something new that we found today during our disassembly. So if we're gonna have this thing this far apart, it would only make sense to replace valve cover gasket, O-ring for the crank position sensor on this side, and then resealing the stator wires that come out of the stator cover.
Just in case.
Yeah, I mean, I don't see anything weeping on the rear cylinder, so that valve cover gasket looks solid. You know, we're gonna wind up, are we gonna do chain and sprockets on this thing?
Of course.
So when we do chain and sprockets and we have to take this guard off,
okay,
we'll clean all the nasty from all the chain lube that's been back there.
Right.
I think the sealing O-ring where the starter goes into this engine case is weeping. That's why the starter is covered in oil.
So all that should not be black.
No, it shouldn't. It should all be gray.
Right. Okay. These are just kind of if we're gonna give somebody a quote unquote dream bike, we want to have
it's been wrecked, so we're gonna tear it down and make sure everything is perfect.
Right. That's how we deliver motorcycles at Wreck Bike Rebuild, son.
I mean, my whole perspective on touching anybody's motorcycle is, they are entrusting me with their life.
Well, no, this is why I like working with you a lot, because I feel like you have a level of, you care more about most people's motorcycles than they do.
Yes.
Especially when you're working on, without a shadow of a doubt. Okay, so before we get to all those things, we're going to wrap this episode up because next episode is going to be an interesting episode because I want to play with an idea. I don't want to talk to you about it.
From here,
yet.
our next episode is going to be, I guess, would be design.
Exactly, that's what I'm saying. And because I don't want to start getting into like taking the wheels off and all that kind of stuff before, like we're in a good spot where like if we took some photos, we could really play around in Photoshop. So in the next episode, episode 5, we're gonna play around with some potential designs of the bike. We are in this early phase of the bike and we can kind of, I mean, we've seen the bike now. Now we decide what the forward path is. Like these little O-rings and stuff, that's gonna happen regardless of what we do. Yes. But at this point, we do need to start ordering parts, and next episode we get to decide, do we go down one route or another? I feel like there's 2 main routes we can take this bike. And we'll talk about those on the next episode, but that's it for now. If you watch the end of this video, high five to you. Thank you so much. Make sure to hit the like button.
Don't forget to put an arrow where the like button is.
We're gonna put an arrow in... We went to our machinist friend today, and he told us that he always gets to the end of the video, but he doesn't know where the like button is. So Judd, boop, that is where the like button is. Press the hell out of that button if you got to this point in the video. And if you guys enjoy the build, you enjoy seeing us do what we do, make sure to check out the Patreon page. That is how we are able to afford to build these bikes and give them away. We've got a lot of cool stuff going on over there. We've got a lot of people in those little cameras that get to watch us live. So if you guys like what we do, help support, we appreciate you a long time. Other than that.
That was dirty.
Really? No. Okay, cool. I'm Chase. That was Brian. I guess I'm dirty.
You didn't get the movie reference.
No. Insert movie reference here.
No, insert movie reference back up a little bit. Because you already...
Ooh,
that was horrible. You can stop.
Outro crew, what was the movie reference?
There you go.
You think they'll know? Was it a good enough reference that they'll know?
I think so. He knows.
Oh, okay. Outro crew, let me know in the comments what the movie reference was. And we'll see you guys on episode 5.
Oh my God.
Where we are 5 episodes deep. That's exciting. We'll see you guys then.
Scary.